Hello and welcome to Electric Football. This is the Week 14 show where we really get down to the nitty-gritty and wonder, why do we do this all the time? Anyway, I'm Stu Pace.
I'm Steve Brown, unwashed because I had no water in my house today.
Yeah, what happened?
Utilities problems.
Damn.
Got to pay them occasionally.
Yeah, that helps. Anyway, before we begin with our weekly roundup, I want to mention one thing. It's Monday night. The Giants and Redskins haven't played yet, so we won't have any results of that. But the Giants won. And also, we'd like to shout out to our friends in South Africa who are becoming big viewers. Bob and the rest of the guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate the heads up and the hellos and all that fun stuff. So right to Week 14 we go. This is Steve, and here we are.
Well, I owe a shout out, too, to Geo Knows, who also does a YouTube show for getting the answer, Ben Folds 5, Effington, the song I sang last week's show.
I thought you were swearing.
Going right into the games, we got the Broncos against the Raiders. This used to be a great rivalry, but it isn't anymore. The Broncos are on a huge roll. I think they've won 7 in a row. Do you give the Raiders a chance against Peyton Manning? I don't. It's the Broncos in a rout.
Yeah, Denver doesn't even have any competition in this division right now, and since Manning went there, there's absolutely none. This rivalry has always been fun, but Manning makes the Broncos a much better team than last year's version with Jim Klebo, who evidently is no longer in the league. Anyway, the Raiders lead the all-time series 59-43 with 2 ties. I expect Denver to add 1 tick to their side, taking the Broncos.
Okay. Then we go on to the Ravens at Washington, and I'll tell you, the Ravens really let one slide last week.
Wow.
Huge mistake in not getting the ball to Ray Rice at all in the fourth quarter, which is unbelievable, especially considering how he bails them out in the fourth quarter.
Right.
We don't know what the Redskins are going to do against the Giants tonight, but no matter what they do, I'm picking the Redskins in an upset in this one. The Ravens, they have a couple of problems. One is late hits. Paul Kruger got a crucial late hit in that game on Charlie Batch.
Mm-hmm.
And if Batch can do it against him, I honestly believe that Robert Griffith III is going to do it against him. So give me the Redskins in an upset. Unless they suffer some sort of debilitating injury this tonight, or if the Giants just,
spoiler alert,
knock the snot out of them.
True. I'm going to go with Washington as well. I think Joe Flacco, who a week ago really had one of the best quarters I've seen in a long time for a quarterback, and then the last series or two against Pittsburgh looked less than human. I think it shouldn't be very hard for RG3 to succeed in this, and Washington keeps scoring. I'm taking the Redskins.
Okay. Cowboys at the Bengals, and I'm flip-flopping like Mitt Romney and John Kerry on this one. I walked in here, I'm picking the Bengals, I'm picking the Bengals. Then I sat down and I said, I'm picking the Cowboys. It's weird. Tony Romo is now the quarterback with the most touchdowns for the Cowboys. That means he has more touchdowns than Troy Aikman, more touchdowns than Roger Staubach, and it means that statistics mean nothing. Because I would take them in exact opposite order. I would take Staubach, then Aikman, then if I had to go to war with Romo, I'd
yeah, but they were handing off to great backs all the time. He isn't. I got to give him that.
You're telling me you're taking Romo over either of those guys in a playoff game?
Oh, never.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, he's never had the running back to go along with it.
Yeah, it certainly helps if you have an Emmitt Smith or a Tony Dorsett, if you will.
Yeah.
But be all that as it may, this is a tough game. The Bengals were unimpressive against an uninspired San Diego team, and we're lucky to walk away with the victory in that one. I'm still going to take them in this one because the Cowboys, I mean, they beat the Eagles, and everybody beats the Eagles this week. So give me the Bengals, but, flip-flop on this one.
Yeah, Ben Jarvis has looked very good of late. With the running game has really picked it up, but Ginger Dalton isn't really a favorite of mine, and I'm going to have to say that Dallas is going to win this game just to keep New York Giants honest about winning the division. So I'm taking the Cowboys here.
Oh, we disagree.
We do.
Should I point out that I was 13-2 last week?
You can point it out, but I'll erase this.
Pending tonight's outcome. I had a good week.
You did.
So we got Rams at the Bills, and the Rams were a surprise. One of my 2 on the loss column was the Rams. Buffalo stampeded Frost's Jags. Frost, they're still in contention for the #1 pick. That's the way you got to look at that. I see the Rams winning this one just on sheer toughness. It's not a great game. It's not a great call on my part, but give me the Rams in this one.
Well, the Rams, I think, kind of blew their load there against San Francisco, and Buffalo's just hard to beat at home. And unless Fitzpatrick does one of those, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde the ball, I think Buffalo wins this one.
All right, we move on to the Eagles at the Buccaneers, and the Eagles are just having a horrific season.
Yep.
It continued last week. It looked a little closer against Dallas than it really was. The Buccaneers came up short against the Broncos, but there's no real harm in that. I mean, I expected it to happen. I think the Buccaneers are by far the more motivated team. I think they're the team on the rise, and I think the Eagles are a team on one of the steepest declines you've ever seen for the last 2 seasons. So give me the Buccaneers, and good luck, Andy Reid.
Yeah, the Eagles keep cutting off the limbs, but they're not going after the head. They fired another coach today, but it wasn't Andy Reid.
I missed something. Who'd they fire?
I can't tell you now because I didn't write it down.
Another
they fired
coach.
Another coach. I don't know if it was the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator. It was someone up on the totem pole, and it wasn't Andy Reid. Tampa looks like they're going to rebound against this team after a heartbreaking loss to Denver, which they were in this game. The Bucs D is better than Dallas, and Foles will find that out. And Pirates like parrots better than Eagles anyway.
Okay. Then we go on to the Falcons at the Panthers, and the Panthers disappointed last week too. They lost to the Chiefs. Obviously, we should delve into this for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Horrific news story broke on Saturday about Javon Belcher killing the wife of
his girlfriend.
Yeah, excuse me, the girlfriend, the mother of his child, and then killing himself at the stadium. I don't know how the Chiefs managed to play that game. Personally, after 9/11, I was in shock for about 2-3 days and don't remember what I did except for hug myself and pray that things were going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they play the game, they won the game, which was amazing. I don't know if you have any feelings.
Yeah,
on
I
this
mean, no one knows what the circumstances were surrounding this at this point. At least we certainly don't. All I can say is that our hearts go out to both families of both the player and the gal whose life was taken, as well as the Chiefs family. I mean, this is a proud franchise. I've always been a fan of the Chiefs, and this is tough to take. In the middle of the season, to have to deal with something like that 24 hours before a game, and then to go out there and play like they did without laying down was something to see. And we just hope that these kind of events don't happen, especially high-profile events like this. It's hard to take.
So the Falcons are going to win this game in my eyes. I guess I'm having a little trouble wondering how much that really matters. Stu, your call on this one?
I've been picking against Atlanta all season pretty much, and for some stupid reason. And a winning team wins close games, and they're not winning by a lot of points, but a good team wins those kind of games, and Atlanta keeps doing it. Whether this is close or not, I'm taking Atlanta. I'm going to jump on the Birds and say they got a clear shot to the title.
There you go, GSIM. That one's for you. So we got KC, the Chiefs, at the Browns, and as we were just talking about, you do hope that the football injuries didn't play into this event in any way. The concussions and all those sort of sad things that have happened with that. And as football fans, we really hope that the NFL is able to get past these sort of issues and find some sort of solution to all the violence that has happened with its players. This one, the Browns are going to win it in my eyes. Doesn't really matter. Probably not. Will the events sort of sink in on the Chiefs and bring that team down even further? I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it was an emotional win a day after the event. This is going to be a week later. They'll have buried people, and things change. When you're in the state of shock, maybe your emotions are different, but it's a week later, and all of a sudden you're like, ugh. So I'm just taking Cleveland on the fact that the Chiefs are going to come very far down off an emotional a game, and Cleveland's playing good ball. I like this team.
Okay. We move to the Chargers at the Steelers, and on an uplifting note, if you didn't see the end of the Steelers game where Charlie Batch was crying into Ben Roethlisberger's
It's a great camera
chest,
shot, boy.
man, it was emotional. You could tell that Batch was really upset by what he had done the week before, and to win that game late and to survive the kind of hit that he took from Haloti Ngata, I thought he was going to leave with a concussion. I was amazed that he was still in that game after that hit, and then Paul Kruger hit him late. So a tough, hard-fought game, a game that they desperately needed the Steelers to stay in this. And it was good to see Troy, I can't say his last name.
Polamalu.
Thank you. I always mess that one up. But it was good to see him back on the field. So I don't see a way that the Steelers lose to the Chargers. They're at home. Roethlisberger may be back. They thought he was even going to play yesterday or potentially play yesterday.
Okay.
And the Steelers just have way more weapons, and that defense really carried them through a tough game yesterday.
Yeah, if Norv's still there as head coach of San Diego, it's the Steelers by a dozen. If he's not, they win a close one anyway. It's time to hatten down the batches with Charlie, and if Ben's back in, it's a gimme that they'll win.
Hatting down the batches?
It's backwards.
Batches down the hatches?
Batten down the hatches. Hatting down the batches.
Where was that for the Bucks?
I don't
or
know.
the Raiders? Those are our Pirates teams.
Charlie Batch, hatting down the batch.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Titans at Colts, and Andrew Luck came up with a beautiful play.
Wow.
A risky play because he threw it short of the end zone.
And they were running. It was a great play.
And Luck was ready to throw a block. The kid has something, and there's a potential matchup in his future against Peyton Manning if the Colts do make the playoffs. I think they're going to win this game, and I think they're going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's a special kid. You're going to have a lot of fun watching him for years to come.
Yeah, he's got them in contention for the playoffs. I think they're going to make it as well, and I don't think the Titans are going to be a bump in the road for them. Luck is clearly, as advertised, the best quarterback since Peyton Manning coming out of college.
Okay. You Robert Griffin III fans, you just heard it right there. Let's move on to a beautiful game here. Jets at Jags.
Wow,
and
yeah.
The Greg McElroy era began, and what was really fascinating in watching that game was the only quarterback in the NFL Mark Sanchez was better than was against him last week, because Lindley was throwing up chucks like I used to on the playground when the big kids were coming at me, and I would close my eyes and just heave a ball that would do one of these things. Killer Jeff Carlson and Steve Slaughter Snyder would bury me. It was ugly. That was some of the worst football I've ever seen. The Jets were definitely energized by McElroy coming in. The fans were definitely energized by McElroy coming in. And it's strange that Tim Tebow isn't going to get a chance to play in Florida. Rex has not made the call, and I can't believe he's
an idiot.
I can't believe he's fumbling around with this one, just like Sanchez fumbled. It is time to give McElroy a shot.
Sanchez couldn't find the difference between a running lane and a lineman's ass, and he's still pondering whether he's going to play him. Give McElroy the reins. You're not going anywhere. Playoffs are over for you, and you're not going to make them this year. So let the kid have a chance because you're going to need a new quarterback next year.
Yeah, but the urge to survive as a coach means he needs to win.
If
they play McElroy, I'll take the Jets. If they play Sanchez, I'll take the Jags.
I'm taking the hometown Jags to win this one. I like the way they're playing.
Okay. We move on to Chicago at Minnesota, and this is the way the season's going to go for my Vikes. It's Bears beat Vikings, Packers beat Vikings, Bears beat Vikings. Vikings don't go to the playoffs. Vikings wasted another beautiful effort by Adrian Peterson. Shedding tacklers, refusing to go out of bounds, 210 yards. It's been off of reconstructive knee surgery. You couldn't ask for a better season out of a running back. He's 300 yards in front of the next highest running back.
He needs to ask for a trade.
And we can't win. He doesn't need to ask for a trade. It would have helped to have Percy Harvin. It would have helped if Ponder had progressed. He hasn't. It's hopefully it's just a sophomore slump. But the Bears win this game, and the Vikings' playoff hopes evaporate completely.
And you're going to be shocked, but I'm taking Minnesota in this game.
What?
The Bears are vexing to me.
Vexing?
Yeah, they're vexing.
Stewart's been vexed.
I looked it up. I think I'm using it accurately. I'm not in love with Chicago. I can't pick them from week to week. So you know what? I'm not going to pick them. I'm going to pick Minnesota. Okay. There you go.
The Dolphins at the 49ers. And the Dolphins, well, I'll let you do this. I'll let you start.
That crying you hear from New Jersey is me. I'm crying because Jeff Ireland is still the general manager of this team. We are bereft of talent. There isn't one playmaker on this team. There isn't one guy that you have to plan for. Maybe Cameron Wake, but that's one guy on a defense full of bluff. The offense stinks. Ryan Tannehill, thank God Jake Long went down. I never liked him. He was a terrible pick for number one, and he's probably done as a Dolphin. I'd rather see this kid Jonathan Martin, who protected Andrew Luck in college, mind you, back at left tackle where he belonged. Don't ever take the Dolphins the rest of this year. I am a true blue Dolphin fan, and they are terrible.
This stew is on fire! Okay, so I can't take the Dolphins in this game either. The 49ers are coming off a tough loss. They want to avoid the whole quarterback controversy, and they're at home. Give me the 49ers, and I'm
Yeah.
Sorry. Stu was both vexed and there was another good word thrown in there.
Accumulated?
I don't know. There was a few good words thrown in there.
Accurately.
All right, we move on to one of my favorite rivalries when we have a bird fight.
Bird fight. We got to come up with a song for that.
The Cardinals at the Seahawks. And God, I pity Larry Fitzgerald because the ball wasn't anywhere near him. There's nothing that man can do short of like standing next to the quarterback and going, "Just give it to me."
Hand it off.
They should just throw. They should throw just pitches to Fitzgerald. Seahawks off a good win against Chicago. Chicago is one of the two teams that really blew their chances last week. The Ravens being the other one. Seahawks at home are a much better team than away. The Cardinals, you could say it was great defense against the Jets. It wasn't. It was just inept offense for the Jets. So give me the Seahawks to win this.
Yeah, one of our viewers kind of berated me last week online for my selection that Seattle probably won't make the playoffs. Well, here they beat the Bears in Chicago, and now they're getting the Cardinals at home with Lindley, whatever his name is, at quarterback. My apologies, you were correct. I think Seattle makes the playoffs, and they certainly win this game.
Okay. He apologized. Saints at the Giants, and we'll say it last time that we don't know what the Giants are going to do tonight. But barring an Eli Manning injury, I'm taking the Giants in this one. The Saints are coming off a long rest, but they're coming off a loss to the Falcons that pretty much eliminated them. It's been a very up and down season for the Saints, and I don't see the Giants losing this one at home.
I expect a blowout by the Giants. The Saints don't have a defense. The Giants do. And I think they finally put the nail in the coffin. I think the Saints are still technically alive, but they won't be after this week. And I think the Giants cream them here. I think it's a blowout.
All right. Lions at...
Oh, and guess what? The Giants are not playing at 8:30 at night this week. For some reason, they're on in the afternoon.
Okay. Lions at the Packers. And the Lions again managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. They also are once again being accused of being a dirty team. They're saying that they taunted one of the Colts who was hurt. The defense taunted one of the Colts who was hurt on an interception return. And the Colts evidently went back at them after the win.
Yeah.
That is the way to throw it back in their face. There is something to the fact that the Lions are always the team that other teams are complaining about. And NFL players are not guys that complain easily.
Right.
So the Lions are dirty. The Packers are a good team. We're going to have to see how Jordy Nelson's hamstring heals up. But I'm going to take the Packers at home. They need the game desperately to stay with the Bears in the division, and I think they'll win it.
I agree. I think they're going to win, and I really think Detroit should look at getting a new coach, at least see who's going to be available next year. Jim Schwartz has a very good team, and he's coached them down to be a pathetic shell of what they were last year. Doesn't make sense to me, and it comes from coaching, in my opinion.
Wow, some strong opinions from Stu. And then we'll finish up with what is just an absolutely great game, and another one that I've been flip-flopping on. Houston at the Patriots. You've got two of the Super Bowl caliber teams going at it.
This is the AFC Championship a month ahead of time.
Yes.
Or 2 months ahead of time.
Teams are clinching now, so you do have to start wondering about, how much they're going to put some of their stars at risk. I don't see the Patriots winning this game. I know that sounds a little crazy. They are at home, but if you look, Brady did not have a great game last week. He gave up 4 sacks, or they gave up 4 sacks of Brady. He had an interception, and Houston's going to bring a lot more heat. Houston is, I think, third in total defense, third in sacks. They're 6th in interceptions. They're going to come after Brady, and they're going to hurt him. So I am taking what I guess is going to be an upset. I'm taking the Texans, the more well-rounded team. They're going to expose the Patriots' defense. Good running game, dangerous receiving game. Is Tom Brady the best player on the field? Yes, by far. Does that mean the Patriots are always going to win? No. So give me Houston in this one.
Yeah, if you hit Brady, I mean, that's the way to beat Brady is to hit him. And the Dolphins were doing that. Unfortunately, the Dolphins don't have a player on the team that can make a play and should have won that game. They were in it the whole way, and if not for a botched punt by the Dolphins, Brady wouldn't have been up 7-0 in the first 2 minutes. But I'm taking the Patriots at home. They're the smartest team in the NFL. They find ways to expose your weaknesses. And J.J. Watt's going to be saying, "What?" as the ball goes flying by him all the time, because Brady's going to figure out where everyone is, what they're going to do. And, I mean, he's thrown to people like Justin Edelman. Come on! He's smaller than us, and he's an NFL player. How is this guy good? Because Brady's that good.
Julian Edelman, and I think
whatever, doesn't matter.
I think he got hurt.
Could be Murray Friedman, and Brady will find him open in the end zone.
I think he got hurt, and you got to remember Brady's throwing a lot of like little 5 and 10 yard passes to Wes Welker, which means he's got to be back there an awful lot to get them down the field. They're not getting big chunks; they're doing it in little bits.
Well, they didn't even look for Brandon Lloyd to the last drive of the game, which was boggling my mind. But
so, give me the Texans in an upset.
Take the Patriots.
Stu the Patriots, and make all your bets on Steve.
Yeah, I'm having a crummy year.
So, for Electric Football from the Fairlawn Cosmo Club, I'm Steve Brown.
I'm Stu Pace. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on
Electric
Football.
There's a subscriber button somewhere down there.
Hit it.
There's
Comments.
We'll
Email us.
talk back to you.
We do. We're bored.
All right.
All right.